let's take a quick walk on doing a roof inspection. So what we have here is a 3-tab asphalt shingle. This is the first course, the starter strip. As you can see, it's torn here, and then we also make sure that they don't line up in row there. Underneath here we have a drip edge, and there is some saturated felt paper below the drip edge. Tar paper should be above and on top of this drip edge. You can see there's some fiber wear. You can see there's been some repairs. I've already stepped on that side, and there's some damage there in the front area. So we're looking for little gaps between them, uneven rows, wear to the shingles, any kind of damage, nail pops, and so on and so forth. This is typical staining when you have a metal roof jack or a flashing. This is sealed, it's short. We'll see what it is once we get in the attic. I've got a slight area that's raised. I'm going to pull back so you can see a section right here, and I'll zoom in for you. So we do see an area right there that we'll kind of investigate a little bit further. We'll step back and we'll see. Oh, they're loose. So you can tell a nail gun's been used. This one's shot. This one's shot crooked at an angle. Should be right here, not above the glue line and not in the glue line. We'll look at the other area here. None of these are holding. This one's been shot through. And then if you reach up underneath there with your finger, there's a nail sticking up. That's what's causing that raised shingle area on this left corner. So we'll continue moving. And then we have some new roof here. Well, this is what they considered a low slope roof, and anything less than a 312 pitch, you shouldn't be using 3-tab or architectural shingles. You'll have to read the manufacturer. Some will allow it as long as you put 2 or 3 underlayments. Anyway, we should see some flashing here as I got over there. There is no flashing underneath here, so this is a wall to roof flashing. We should see some metal. You don't like the color of galvanized steel, then you can paint it any color you want, but we should have some clearance between the wood and the roof shingles. What we do have is a lot of caulk, and I guess an attempt to prevent water from getting in. And we'll also take a look at the lines, make sure all the rows are in line, and you can see some of these tabs are slightly raised. So I already lifted up a little bit, and I was able to tell that this doesn't have 2 rows of saturated felt paper. Oh look, here's an exposed nail. So we got a nail that's sticking up, and that will be a potential leak later on. We got wires that should be at least 18 inches high off the roof. They shouldn't be laying on the roof. And they did use a rubber boot here. This is an insulator, and I pushed down on a little bit. It's kind of flexible, but you can see some alligatoring. It's just a sign of cracking. It's all sealed in this area, so we want to rework these wires with Integy as well. Then I noticed over here there was some raised areas, so I wanted to take a look, and then we'll lift this up here. That's pretty easy. We'll lift this up here, and it's only 1 row of shingles. There's no nail here, there's no nail here, and this is just 1 sheet of 15-pound felt. If you take a look, we got like a 3.5-inch row, then a 5.5 to 6-inch row. Right here, this is where it starts to bend down, and you can see some of those shingles uplifted right there. So all of this section of the roof should come off. Use a bitumen roof. Some call it a bitumen, but it's pronounced bitumen, B-I-T-U-M-E-N. We also have PVC pipe that's pushing up on the shingles along this corner, and I guess when they were painting it, they got paint all over the shingles. And then the edges here aren't properly installed. And as we move on over, hey, we got another nail pop right through the shingle. And then we have another nail right through the shingle. And then we have these plastic neoprene rubber boots. These nails aren't sealed. It's got a nice taper. Looks like it's fitting pretty well, but the cut was poor. Should do a nice cut with a sharp razor knife. Here we have a little small ridge where the plywood sheathing underneath is kind of raised. We got a little dip right here that comes down and goes up. This is the valley flashing here. This is what they call a California cut woven roof. This uplift here is the valley metal flashing that's lifting. That's just caused this to ridge out, and as you can see, I just stepped on it and it pushes the shingles out. So eventually wind's going to work its way up in there. Then we want to make sure it's clipped and sealed so it's easy to lift up. So if I can lift it up, water can get underneath there, debris can get underneath there. Again, same thing. There's a lot of silicone around this area, so apparently there's some non-professional workmanship. But there's a lot of things that we do look on the roof. You know, we make sure, like I said, this one happens just to be a 3-tab shingle. I usually see a lot of architectural designer shingles. So we look at these grooves here, we look at the wear on the shingles, we look at the rows, we look for nail pops, we look for raised areas, we look for roof jacks, we look at roof penetrations, we look at flue vents, we look at flashings, drip edge, wall flashing, head wall flashing, apron flashing, chimney flashing. Of course, this one doesn't have a chimney. Repairs made, kind of brings you to attention. Says, hey, what's going on over here? What happened here? Sometimes I may just say verify with the seller. So that's pretty much part of a roof inspection. Pretty simple if you know what you're looking at. So as I said earlier, you know, we're looking for that roof to wall flashing. We're looking for a specific amount of clearance, you know, at least 2 inches. And then right here, we should see a little kick out. That's code since 2012, at least the International Residential Code requires a kick-out flashing to divert water away from the building structure. If this was a wall, you'd probably see stains running down the wall. That's all I have for you right now.